on to things we are playing that Ross is more aware of, including, let's just pull the band-aid off, shall we?
Do we should we save it to last?
4 of the 5 of us have been playing this wonderful new release named FIFA 23. As I understand, it's the final football game ever. So we get that out of the way and we don't need to talk about football ever again.
Well, quite think that's what it is.
They said they're not doing any more FIFA games, so that's the end of football forever.
It's not called FIFA. Nice try.
So I'm going to give you my quick thoughts because I played it last night. And it's FIFA. So, Graham, what is your thoughts on football?
Hey, great, Jay, you did really well. You lost.
You
I only lost 3-0. No, was it 3-2? Sorry, 3-2 the first game.
Oh wow. Oh no, I thought you meant you were
that was against amateur.
That was the easy setting with the women's teams, and then I played world class or legendary, whatever it was, and I think it was 3-0 in the end.
Yeah. Once again, that it's from an outsider who's not into the football games. It can easily be seen as the same game as last year, but those that do play it solidly know how different this new one is compared to the last one. It's everything. It's all subtle, but it's massive for those that play it constantly, sort of every year.
Wait, I forgot. Dan said 10 minutes, and you've got 9 minutes 30 left.
Well, I'm just speaking about the main kind of bits. I mean, as far as everything's the same, yes, the same things are there. Volta's back, Ultimate Team's back, Career Mode's back, Pro Clubs is back. They're all there. But I'm not going to sort of bury the lead. Sort of the main people that play sort of FIFA definitely do play the Ultimate Team, which is where money seems to be involved, buying packs, etc. It's where the main focus seems to be, but not to discount everything else there. A lot of the other sort of things do get played, and they are good fun too. But yeah, it's just they've said they new like hypermotion technology kind of thing, and you kind of do see new animations. The goalies, the way they kind of move is way more realistic than what they have been in the past. They don't look as daft, and it's just, yeah, they've tried to sort of bring a new, different balance into the game, because usually when the game resets back into a new game, it's all about try and get the people with the fastest players and then just try and run past everyone. And it's been that way for probably like the last 3 or 4 years, but this one they've tried to tackle it a different way, and it's quite unique. Sort of, you can't just use the fastest players to sort of run it through anymore. And yeah, just everything feels different but the same, familiar, but the fluidity, they've kept that there. That's something that even the eFootball couldn't get a touch on, the fluidity of the actual game. It's not as sort of broken up or choppy as that kind of game is. But yeah, I'm already sort of hours into it, and yeah, it's already going to be a firm favourite of mine this year. And yeah, I've already been playing it today already. It goes to show you how much of this week has been dominated by this kind of game. And yeah, there's just so many intricacies around just even one game mode in the Ultimate Game Mode that people talk strategies with those that are football fans, and people sort of recommend different players that they've probably not heard of before. And the way they've kind of mixed up chemistry this year means people can make their fantasy teams have a bit more variety to their kind of team without sacrificing some of the perks that come with, you know, picking a team from the same league, etc. So although that doesn't mean much to non-FIFA players or non-football players, but it's decent. Let's just say they haven't just, or they have for the Switch anyway, they've copy and pasted the same game and changed the names again, but not for the major consoles. And that's probably one of the biggest things. They've properly emphasized on crossplay this year. So Xbox and PlayStation share a market now on the Ultimate Team, so that there's no one has a better market than the other. And you can play against people on the opposing platforms now, and you can play with people from opposing platforms and go co-op with them in the same game, which is something.
Is that the first thing for this year, or did they do that before?
They trialled it last year, but not so much for Ultimate Team. I think it was season play that you could play against the opposing side, but they've really properly integrated it this year.
Yeah, what's quite good now is as Gary was saying, with being crossplay, like, so there's certain game modes, or there's certain parts of the objective section in Ultimate Team where you can do like friendly competitions, and you have to do X amount of tick box exercises that basically you get packs by completing, say, score 50 goals, for example. And what they've done now is you can now link up in the Ultimate Team to do that with a friend. So like me and Gray could jump into a friendly game. I could let him score 50 goals. He gets it. Then we'll jump into another friendly game. He lets me score 50 goals. It's done and dusted. We both got the benefits for it.
50
a lot,
goals?
just a random.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
It's not really. If you play it on beginner in a 6-minute game, you can score 50 goals ridiculously easy. So things like that.
Jamie here.
So it's just wee bits like that, because a lot of times last year they had sort of things where if you wanted to do that sort of achievement, you sort of had to message the guy like before you or girl before you kicked off and was like, I'm doing this objective and I have score 3 headers. Can you let me score 3 headers? And if you've got anything to do, I'll let you score 3 goals from outside the box type idea. So there is a little bit, especially when it comes to like the friendly scenario where you don't have to like use like draft tokens and things like that to get in it, where you've only got limited amount of things to do. You could sort of like work a system that you got what you need to get out. Whereas this year, because it's got like cross play, where even if your mates play on PlayStation, you can jump in with them and do it, as we're saying, on Xbox as well. So it's building on what Gray was saying in regards to how it's the same but different. The meta, or how they like apply it, is completely different this year. As Gray was saying, it used to be you wanted players that had 90 plus pace, run past everybody, and that's all you had to worry about. Whereas there's a lot of different techniques that you can use this year. So a big thing that I've noticed, which has been lacking in the last couple of FIFAs, is crossing. Last few FIFAs, crossing was null and void. You really didn't get any. You didn't really get any sort of benefit from crossing, unless it was you were using a really fast player, a low-driven cross to the back post because he was the first man in, and a tap in. That was really the only benefit you got from it. Whereas this year, you can actually work on crossing from deep to pick out a tall striker and get the benefit that way. You don't need to necessarily have just pace. If you have players who have, they've got a new system called Accelerate, and it's basically they've got 3 different types of running explosive. I can't remember the middle one. Lengthy and explosive are the 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, and then controlled, is the middle one. Explosive is what you'd expect from like a player like Mbappe, who has super quick pace off the block, first 5-10 yards, really difficult to keep up with him. And then you've got lengthy, which are players who are bigger built, taller, who still have a lot of speed, but they take quite a bit of time to get to that top speed. But once they reach it, it's really difficult to keep up with them. And they've made that much more feasible this year. So players like a Haaland, who is a more physical presence, has every bit as used as an Mbappe, a Messi, who are really short, sharp, quick players. So it's nice to see that they've actually tried to develop the game and not just have like one-trick ponies of buy the fastest players, run as fast as you can past the opposition, and score basically one-on-one goals.
Thank you.
And
I think Jamie's dead.
Jay's dead.
Jay, wake up, Jay.
I was taking this opportunity to sort my will out.
There's 2 minor bits they've added in which you do enjoy, Jay, which I made you try yesterday. One was the super power slide, so that means a more beefier slide tackle.
Oh yes, not that I got a single red card, so it's not fucking any good, is it?
Well, you have to still hit the player. You still have to aim,
Wow.
which you saw about your aiming was a little bit off. And the other bit was the power shot, the wind-up power shot.
Yes, actually, speaking of the aiming and stuff, I don't play FIFA every year. Normally, I play one game like when it comes out, and that's it. But I noticed in the trial or the demo match I was doing before I even got into the menu, that when you were aiming to pass or cross or shoot or something, it put like an actual cursor where my analog stick was aiming for the. I've never noticed that before.
So I
was like, no, that's why I'm fucking missing all the time, because I'm well off where I'm aiming and where I think I'm aiming is completely different.
So that's FIFA. That's the FIFA trainer. You can turn that off, or you can scale it down a wee bit.
Or up for him.
Or up.
I was going to say more of it. I need more, please.
Yeah. So basically, you can have it on screen that when your player's got the ball and the positions they're in, like it'll tell you which buttons that you can use at that exact moment. It shows you, as you were saying, like the direction that you're passing. If you hold down the pass button, it like the arrow gets longer because it's going further away and things like that. So you can ramp it all the way up to really make it easy.
And that's what I want.
You've got the opposite that you can turn it off completely. So
yeah. Yeah, no, I thought that was interesting because I've never seen that before. So that explained a lot of things. But like I said, I've played 2 games now, so technically I need to skip next year's. Although this is the last football game ever, so maybe I'll play one final round for old time's sake. But I mean, general thoughts are it's good, better than last year, or like a worthy new release, not just another reskin and renaming of players and teams and stuff.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's better than last year so far. I'll leave it at that.
Good. Gray, have you been playing anything else, or have you just been stuck into FIFA?
Well, that and the Game Pass game. That's the only kind of real things I've been dabbling into today. This week.
Good. Okay. Well, let's move on to Ross. Have you played anything else other than FIFA? Have you got anything else to say about FIFA?
FIFA. If I've not been playing FIFA, I've been sitting on my phone on the web app buying players and selling players for FIFA.
Cool. Good.